Welcome back, everyone, to Biz Talk. I am Rachel Weaver, your host for today. I am so excited to have with me Jake Linville today on Biz Talk. Jake is a certified public accountant that specializes in providing expert guidance tailored to needs of business owners and individuals. With extensive experience in controllership, public accounting, income tax, and cost accounting, as well as software implementations, he is uniquely positioned to assist any size business in achieving financial goals. Jake, it is such an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Rachel.
Thank you so much. I am super excited to talk with you because this is a topic. Taxes are something that most people avoid. They don't like to talk about it. They don't like to face it. I know I'm one of them. I'm like, I always joke. And one of my best friends is an attorney, and I joke with her often, and I say, taxes make me cry. But she does not let me lay down and cry. She kicks me into gear. But I will say that it is such an important topic to talk about because there are so many changes that are constantly taking place. And as a business owner or even as an individual, it is really hard for us to keep up. So it's important for us to lean in on people who are experts like you so that we can remain compliant and make sure that we're not going to have to pay any extra fees. We can avoid that if possible. So I would love to talk to you a little bit today about compliance and regulations. And I have some questions for you because I think that it's something that's ever changing. And if we are not up to date, we are behind and we pay for it. I know firsthand, I didn't know about something that was implemented because my accountant actually missed it and I had to pay the penalty. So how can I stay up to date with changing tax laws and regulations that may impact my business when I mean, it's not something I'm consistently watching or looking for. So how do we make sure we manage that?
Sure. Well, first, I would recommend hiring a CPA. So I don't know if your accountant was a CPA or if they were just a bookkeeper, but you don't want to read this stuff. Maybe your attorney friend wants to read it, but this stuff will put you to sleep. This stuff was written by tax lawyers and bureaucrats to confuse us. That's what I really believe, but that's what I do. So I read through it and make sure that you're up to date. So, and I would really recommend that you meet with your CPA quarterly to make sure that they can give you the Reader's Digest version of any relevant updates. They don't need to bring you through all the details. And this will also help you to remember to make your quarterly tax estimate payments. And that's actually pretty huge because if you don't keep paying during the year, eventually at the end of the year, the piper is going to come and ask for its money. And one of the other things that I would recommend is you can read my newsletter on LinkedIn. It's called Streamline Solutions. I publish an article every week. In there, I give tax advice and the Reader's Digest version of any tax laws that apply to us. And also, if you're not on LinkedIn, you can go to my website, bookmycpa.com, and click the newsletter button close to the top of the page. And that way you can stay up to date.
I absolutely love that because LinkedIn is such a great way to absorb a lot of information to stay up to date each and every week. So be sure, everyone, to connect with Jake over on LinkedIn because you don't want to miss out on something that even sometimes our accountant gets so busy, they might forget to pass on information that might be important. So first and foremost, be sure to follow Jake on LinkedIn. But what steps should I take to ensure I am in full compliance with local, state, and federal tax obligations, especially if I'm a global company?
Sure. So to stay in compliance with local, state, and federal tax obligations, if you're a global company, I mean, if you're a global company, you're usually going to have your own tax department. But if you don't, you can hire someone such as myself or someone that specializes in international tax to help you with that. But for those of us that are just here in the United States, I would recommend making sure that you are very keenly aware of sales tax. Every state in the union has it except for Montana and Oregon, I believe. There might be a third. Property taxes, payroll taxes, make sure you stay up to date on those. Make sure that your employees are withholding the correct amount of payroll taxes and and that you are filing the necessary reports with the state, local, and federal agencies. And this goes without saying, but I have to say it, keep accurate records. Don't use Excel. Don't use Microsoft Excel as an accounting system. It does not work. It's very much subject to user error. So make sure you use an accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero, or something more robust like NetSuite or Sage Intacct. Or if you don't even want to bother with that, hire a CPA to track your finances. We offer packages that are very affordable. Also, make sure you pay your estimated taxes, like I had said earlier. If you don't pay those, you'll end up owing a big pile of money at the end of the year, and you'll end up being charged a penalty. And then make sure that you file your everything on time, because if you don't do it on time, they'll ding you. They'll get you a late filing fee. They'll get you a penalty. And before anything gets filed for you on your behalf, if you're not doing it, make sure you review it, because like you said, your accountant missed something, and maybe you could have caught it if I don't know, if you would have taken 15 more minutes to take, don't just blindly trust your CPA. Make sure that you understand what you're filing, and make sure that your CPA walks you through what you're filing, and make sure that you understand it. And lastly, on this topic, I'd make sure if you have a lot of moving parts, consider some tax planning, especially if you're getting close to retirement age. Make sure that you've got a plan in place.
Yeah, super important things. I absolutely love that. So important. And I found that when you compare those software programs to an actual accountant to take care of all of your bookkeeping and making sure everything is done on time, I mean, you're not really paying all that much more for an actual person to take care of it. So I definitely recommend, if not fully hiring someone like Jake, going in and maybe hiring someone like Jake at least quarterly to come in and ensure your QuickBooks is being done right. I don't know if that's the case for you or not, but I'm just trying to say I understand the importance, because I've been that person in the past that just relied on QuickBooks, and there were so many things that were missed, even with a bookkeeper. So it is important to have the CPA behind you. What are some common tax compliance mistakes that small business owners should avoid if possible?
Sure. The first one would be not seeking professional advice, not talking to me. If you don't talk to your CPA, you're missing out. If you don't talk to us, you're going to miss out on missed opportunities for tax savings, and you're going to have an increased risk of having errors. Secondly, mixing personal and business expenses. Make sure that you have at least the bare minimum, a separate bank account for business, a separate bank account for personal. And if you have any of those transactions that you pay for the business out of your personal, just make sure that you record that in the business as a reimbursement. Don't use it as your honeypot, if you will. Next, I would make sure that you are very aware of your sales tax obligations, especially if you're an online retailer, because there's a lot of new laws out there that will, if once you cross certain thresholds, you are subject and liable for those sales taxes, even if you don't collect them, because you were supposed to know that you're supposed to collect them. Another one is misclassifying workers. Incorrectly classifying them as an independent contractor instead of employees, or vice versa, can lead to very big tax and legal complications. So make sure that you know what those are. If you don't try and figure it out on your own. Call your CPA, call me. Failing to pay payroll taxes is a big one. If you don't pay your payroll taxes, guess who pays the price? Not only you, but your employees, because when they go to file their tax return, the federal government's going to say, or the state government is going to say, hey, we didn't get these monies on your behalf. So it's going to cause your employees tax problems. And then lastly, overlooking self-employment tax. So if you are subject to self-employment tax, make sure that you're keenly aware of it so you can make sure you save and pay it as you go, so you don't have to come up with a large amount at the end of the year.
Great, great tips. All very important things. Jake, can you tell us, you've given us so much value today. I'm certain that people are going to want to reach out to you and consult with you or hire you full time. So where can we find you? We know on LinkedIn. Can you share with us your name on LinkedIn? And where else can we find you and book an appointment?
Sure. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's just Jake Linville, CPA. And then you can find me on my website, which is bookmycpa.com. It's spelled just like it sounds, bookmycpa.com. And it'll take you to the right website.
Fantastic. Very, very good. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you and your time today. We look forward to hopefully having you back again very, very soon.
Thanks,
Have
Rachel.
a very happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.